Borussia Dortmund were 18th in the table and under huge pressure to get a result against Hoffenheim. How did they fare on Friday night? Well, in the end it was a 1-0 win thanks to Ilkay Gündogan's torpedo Kopfball and a hugely important result. Jürgen Klopp and his men relieved themselves of the red lantern, that's the German version of the wooden spoon, and climbed all the way to 14th in the table. Dortmund once again had a good goal wrongly disallowed, but they also got lucky for a change as Tariq El-Yunusi went down in the box after Neven Subotic's challenge. 100% a penalty, said Markus Gisdol, but the referee didn't agree. Gündogan had a particularly good game in the number 10 spot, protected by Sebastian Kehl and Sven Bender behind him, and at the back it was the Fab Four reunited for the first time again from the start since the Champions League final in 2013. That's Hummels, Piszczek, Schmelzer and Subotic, all on the same pitch. We must continue to work for more victories, said a very relieved Jurgen Klopp, and indeed they must. 2 or 3 more wins from the last 3 games will make sure that Dortmund go into the winter break in a much more relaxed state. 0-4 were the opponents for Stuttgart at the Mercedes-Benz Arena, and the scoreline too. VfB coach Huub Stevens was of course voted manager of the century by the Royal Blues supporters not long ago, but his successor on the Schalke bench, Roberto Di Matteo, showed him no mercy. Max Meyer and a hat-trick from Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting consigned Stuttgart to the bottom of the table and pushed Schalke all the way up to joint 4th. Another game with a big X factor was Bremen's trip to Eintracht Frankfurt, coached by former Werder legend Thomas Schaaf. It was a suitably bonkers affair without much in the way for defending, and Alex Meier set Eintracht on course for a 5-2 win with a brace. Bayer Leverkusen are also 4th in the table with an identical record to Schalke's after a 1-0 defeat at Bayern on Saturday. Substitute Sebastian Rode proved an unlikely match winner of sorts, having a really positive impact after his introduction in the second half. Franck Ribéry's 100th goal for Bayern was enough to secure all 3 points against a very tactically astute Bayer Leverkusen, who frustrated the home team but didn't create much themselves, with the exception of an early chance for Karim Bellarabi. When somebody suggested that Alex Meier should be part of the German national team 2 years ago, he just waved them away and said, "No, I'm too old." But he's still only 31, and he's top of the Bundesliga goal-scoring charts, ahead of luminaries like Lewandowski and Marco Reus and so on, with 10 goals after 14 games. In 10 years in Frankfurt, he's scored 34 times in 66 games. That's better than a goal every other game. But he's typically modest, saying it doesn't really matter who scores. In any way, one of the Bayern Munich players will pick up the Golden Cannon, which is the trophy for the leading goal scorer. Is it inconceivable that Alex Meier would get a call-up for the German national team next year? I'm not so sure. Joachim Löw isn't exactly blessed with many options up front, and he could do a lot worse than having a second look at the Fußball-Gott from Frankfurt. Markus Weinzierl's FC Augsburg were the first domestic team to beat Bayern Munich last season, and they have a chance to repeat that feat on Saturday when they welcome their big neighbours as third in the table. That's the best position this small club have ever been in. Augsburg don't yet see themselves as genuine contenders for the Europa League or Champions League, let alone the Championship, but Stefan Reuter, the sporting director, has said that it might not be a one-off, referring jokingly to last year's win. "We have shown before that we can annoy Bayern," said Tobias Werner, and maybe they can do that again. That's it for this week, but you can check out our other leagues, and of course don't forget to subscribe and leave some comments below if you want. We'll see you soon.